As promised, I bring you the Twitter Files Part 2, Twitter's Secret Blacklists. This one was tweeted out by Barry Weiss of a new media company called The Free Press and shared by Elon Musk, so let's dive in. A new hashtag Twitter Files investigation reveals that teams of Twitter employees build blacklists, prevent disfavored tweets from trending, and actively limit the visibility of entire accounts or even trending topics, all in secret, without informing users. Twitter once had a mission to give everyone the power to create and share ideas and information instantly without barriers. Along the way, barriers nevertheless were erected. Take, for example, Stanford's Dr. Jay Bhattacharya, who argued that COVID lockdowns would harm children. Twitter secretly placed him on a trends blacklist, which prevented his tweets from trending. Or consider the popular right-wing talk show host Dan Bongino, who at one point was slapped with a search blacklist. Twitter set the account of conservative activist Charlie Kirk to Do Not Amplify. Twitter denied that it does such things. In 2018, Twitter's Vijaya Gadde, then the head of legal policy and trust, and Kayvan Kapoor, head of product, said, "We do not shadow ban." They added, "And we certainly don't shadow ban based on political viewpoints or ideology." What many people call shadow banning, Twitter executives and employees call visibility filtering, or VF. Multiple high-level sources confirmed its meaning. Think about visibility filtering as being a way of us to suppress what people see to different levels. It's a very powerful tool, one senior Twitter employee told us. VF refers to Twitter's control over user visibility. It used VF to block searches of individual users, to limit the scope of a particular tweet's discoverability, to block users' posts from ever appearing on the trending page, and from inclusion in hashtag searches, all without users' knowledge. We control visibility quite a bit, and we control the amplification of your content quite a bit, and normal people do not know how much we do, one Twitter engineer told us. 2 additional Twitter employees confirmed the group that decided whether to limit the reach of certain users was the Strategic Response Team, Global Escalation Team, or SRTGET. It often handled up to 200 cases a day. But there existed a level beyond official ticketing, beyond the rank-and-file moderators following the company's policy on paper. That is the Site Integrity Policy, Policy Escalation Support, known as SIPPES. This secret group included Head of Legal Policy and Trust Vijaya Gadde, the Global Head of Trust and Safety Yoel Roth, subsequent CEOs Jack Dorsey and Parag Agrawal, and others. This is where the biggest, most politically sensitive decisions got made. Think high follower count. Controversial, another Twitter employee told us. For these, there would be no ticket or anything. One of the accounts that rose to this level of scrutiny was Libs of TikTok, an account that was on the Trends blacklist and was designated as Do Not Take Action on User Without Consulting with SIPPES. The account, which Chaya Raichik began in November of 2020 and now boasts over 1.4 million followers, was subjected to 6 suspensions in 2022 alone, Raichik says. Each time Raichik was blocked from posting for as long as a week. Twitter repeatedly informed Raichik that she had been suspended for violating Twitter's policy against hateful conduct. But in an internal SIPPES memo from October of 2022, after her 7th suspension, the committee acknowledged that LTT has not directly engaged in the behavior violative of the hateful conduct policy. The committee justified her suspensions internally by claiming her posts encouraged online harassment of hospitals and medical providers, by insinuating that gender-affirming healthcare is equivalent to child abuse or grooming. Compare this to what happened when Raichik herself was doxxed on November 21st, 2022. A photo of her home with her address was posted in a tweet that garnered more than 10,000 likes. When Raichik told Twitter that her address had been disseminated, she says Twitter support responded with this message: "We reviewed the reported content and didn't find it to be in violation of the Twitter rules. No action was taken. The doxing tweet is still up." In internal Slack messages, Twitter employees spoke of using technicalities to restrict the visibility of tweets and subjects. Here's Yoel Roth, Twitter's then global head of trust and safety, in a direct message to a colleague in early 2021, where he states, "A lot of times, SI has used technicality, spam enforcement as a way to solve a problem created by safety under enforcing their policies, which again, isn't a problem per se, but it keeps us from addressing the root cause of the issue, which is that our safety policies need some attention." 6 days later, in a direct message with an employee of the Health Misinformation, Privacy, and Identity Research Team, Roth requested more research to support expanding non-removal policy interventions like disabling engagements and de-amplification/visibility filtering. Roth wrote, "The hypothesis underlying much of what we've implemented is that if exposure to misinformation directly causes harm, you should use remediations that reduce exposure, and limiting the spread or virality of content is a good way to do that." He added, "We got Jack on board with implementing this for civic integrity in the near term, but we're going to need to make a more robust case to get this into our repertoire of policy remediations, especially for other policy domains." Barry continues on to say that there's a lot more to come, which will always be shared via Twitter first and then on thefp.com. I personally will continue to share with you as developments continue, but the many of us who've been keeping up and personally affected with the censorship and discriminatory social media practice of these platforms are not surprised by these revelations, but I will leave you with these questions to ponder. If social media platforms working with the federal government have this much power and this much influence, how much of our reality do they really control? How much of what we think or believe to be true is based on what they tell us? When is it too much? When do we lose our ability for not just free speech, but free thought? In the wrong hands, how dangerous can this be? Thanks for listening.